Somewhere in the Course, Jesus says, God speaks to us. Should we not speak to him? We should. We should always speak to him. Whatever we speak, let us keep God in mind. Or else, perhaps we shouldn't speak. Wait upon the Lord. It's this biblical message. Wait upon the Lord. He's not holding back. But we got to wait until our ego layers settle. Till the water is clear, till our mind is clear. Because the voice is there. And we're just covered up with layers. Layers of persona, layers of identity, self-concept, ego. Layers of the ego. So we couldn't hear. That's why we have to wait for our own readiness. And we can cultivate this as we get still. And let's just keep giving to Spirit things that we feel are in the way. Maybe there are some difficulties or some desires, some seemingly worldly things. That stand in the way from us experience the magnitude. Let Spirit's light shine on those, whatever they are. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Errors are judgments. That opened the Course to this beautiful section called Above the Battleground. So we could dive into that here, above the battleground. First sentence, he's telling us something. He says, do not remain in conflict. There is no war without attack. Do not remain in conflict. Conflict is war. There is no war without attack. The fear of God is fear of life and not of death. Yet he remains the only place of safety. In him is no attack, and no illusion in any form stalks heaven. Heaven is wholly true. No difference enters, and what is all the same cannot conflict. You are not asked to fight against your wish to murder, but you're asked to realize the form it takes conceals the same intent. Okay. You're not asked to fight against your wish to murder, but you're asked to realize the form it takes conceals the same intent. The form the wish to murder takes. And it is this you fear, and not the form. What is not love is murder. What is not loving must be an attack. Every illusion is an assault on truth, and everyone does violence to the idea of love, because it seems to be of equal truth. What is not love is murder. What a stark message. What can be equal to the truth yet different? Murder and love are incompatible. Yet if they both are true, then must they be the same and indistinguishable from one another. So will they be to those who see God's Son as a body. For it is not the body that is like the Son's creator, and what is lifeless cannot be the Son of life. How can a body be extended to hold the universe? Can it create and be what it creates? And can it offer its creations all that it is and never suffer loss? We can't mix anymore. We're not here to think we're bodies. Cannot mix this and say that we are loving while identifying as a body. What is not love is murder. God does not share his function with a body. He gave the function to create unto his Son because it is his own. It is not sinful to believe the function of the Son is murder, but it is insanity. What is the same can have no different function. Creation is the means for God's extension, and what is his must be his Son's as well. Creation is the means for God's extension, and what is his must be his Son's as well. Either the Father and the Son are murderers, or neither is. Life makes not death, creating like itself. So even in this ego world, we can see that this makes sense. That God and his Son, they cannot be murderers. I mean, we still have distortions in the mind, thinking that God is fearful. And if we do think he's a murderer. But if we think of that logically, it's easy to say, but that cannot be so. That cannot be true. But we can't have both. Life makes not death, creating like itself. The lovely light of your relationship is like the love of God. It cannot yet assume the holy function God gave his Son, for your forgiveness of your brother is not complete as yet, and so it cannot be extended to all creation. This is our function, forgiving our relationship. You think of one or many relationships. It's okay, either way. This is your function. Forgive them. And the lovely light of your relationships is like the love of God. But it cannot yet assume the holy function God gave his Son, for your forgiveness of your brother is not complete as yet. Okay, he's telling us we have some work to do still, some forgiveness work. Each form of murder and attack that still attracts you and that you do not recognize for what it is, limits the healing and the miracles you have the power to extend to all. Yet does the Holy Spirit understand how to increase your little gifts and make them mighty. Also, he understands how your relationship is raised above the battleground. In it no more. This is your part, to realize that murder in any form is not your will. This is your part, that murder in any form is not your will. This is it. This is why it says, look at your mind, watch your mind. Do not follow your ego. Do not follow your ego. We often know when we follow our ego, right? Make a decision and take a stand. Do not follow your ego. Realize that murder in any form is not your will. The way to happiness, that is, cannot attack and think that you're going to receive love back. That's impossible. The overlooking of the battleground is now your purpose. Beautiful. Be lifted up, and from a higher place, look down upon it. From there, will your perspective be quite different. Here in the midst of it, it does seem real. In the midst of the battleground seems real. Here you have chosen to be part of it. Here, murder is your choice. Yet from above, the choice is miracles instead of murder. And the perspective coming from this choice shows you the battle is not real and easily escaped. Bodies may battle, but the clash of forms is meaningless. And it is over when you realize it never was begun. How can a battle be perceived as nothingness when you engage in it? How can the truth of miracles be recognized if murder is your choice? When the temptation to attack rises, to make your mind darkened and murderous, remember you can see the battle from above. Even in forms you do not recognize, the signs you know. Even if it seems to be new situations, you know the signs. You can still decide against your ego. There is a stab of pain, a twinge of guilt, and above all, a loss of peace. It's easy to recognize. This you know well. When they occur, leave not your place on high, but quickly choose a miracle instead of murder. And God himself and all the lights of heaven will gently lean to you and hold you up, for you have chosen to remain where he would have you, and no illusion can attack the peace of God together with his Son. This is why it says, be vigilant in your mind. Be vigilant only for God and his kingdom. Be vigilant against the ego. These are the messages from the Course. Leave not your place upon high. You have chosen to remain where he would have you, and no illusion can attack the peace of God together with his Son. See no one from the battleground, for there you look on him from nowhere. What a helpful advice. See no one from the battleground, for there you look on him from nowhere. Don't want to be in nowhere and look at your brothers and think you know who they are. Forget about it. Drop it. Don't analyze anymore. Don't judge others. Don't look on anyone from the position of the battleground. That's meaningless. You keep yourself in the dream, stuck. Because if you do that, if you see someone from the battleground, you have no reference point from where to look, where meaning can be given what you see. That makes sense. You have no reference point from where to look, where meaning can be given what you see. The reference point would be the ego, the small identity, which is made of fear. How could you rely on that anymore? Why would you let that make decisions for you? And a lot of it has to do with possession, me and mine. What I have as a person. Drop it, give it over, let spirit decide. Go above the battleground and give it all, everything you have and are, including yourself. He'll extend it for you. He'll show you how to use it. For only bodies could attack and murder, and if this is your purpose, then you must be one with them. Only a purpose unifies, and those who share a purpose have a mind as one. The body has no purpose of itself and must be solitary. From below, it cannot be surmounted. From above, the limits it exerts on those in battle still are gone. From above, the limits it exerts on those in battle still are gone and not perceived. From above, those limits that have been seen in others from the battleground are gone. You don't. So where are they? They're only in the separated mind. They're not in them. The body stands between the Father and the heaven he created for his Son, because it has no purpose. The body stands between the Father and the heaven he created for his Son, because it has no purpose. How can something that has no purpose stand between the Father and the heaven that he created? From God's perspective, it's completely impossible. But using the power of God and separating off, it seems to be possible. But what madness that is. What a dream. Think what is given those who share their Father's purpose and who know that it is theirs. They want for nothing. Sorrow of any kind is inconceivable. Only the light they love, only the light they love is in awareness. And only love shines upon them forever. It is their past, their present, and their future. Always the same, eternally complete and wholly shared. So those who share their Father's purpose, they have only light in their awareness. the light that they love, and only love shines upon them forever. This love is their past, their present, and their future. That is the forgiven world. Always the same, eternally complete, and wholly shared. They know it is impossible their happiness could ever suffer change of any kind. Perhaps you think the battleground can offer something you can win. Can it be anything that offers you a perfect calmness and a sense of love so deep and quiet that no touch of doubt can ever mar your certainty, and that will last forever? Can it be anything on the battleground that offers you that? Those with the strength of God in their awareness could never think of battle. What could they gain but loss of their perfection? For everything fought for on the battleground is of the body, something it seems to offer or to own. No one who knows that he has everything could seek for limitation, nor could he value the body's offerings. The senselessness of conquest is quite apparent from the quiet sphere above the battleground. What can conflict with everything? And what is there that offers less, yet could be wanted more? Who, with the love of God upholding him, could find the choice of miracles or murder hard to make? This is the ending line of this, about the battleground. Who, with the love of God upholding him, could find the choice of miracles or murder hard to make? No one with the love of God upholding him would find that choice difficult. I choose miracles. Yeah, all the chapters are so deep and clear in the course. This is the last part of chapter 23. And that chapter is called The War Against Yourself. So he's clearly saying, lay it down. Lay down the war against yourself. Come back above the battleground. It's easy. It's very conscious that choices to listen to the ego are made. It's a conscious decision in the mind. And we need to be as consciously choosing not to listen to the ego. And if we're uncertain, we can pause a moment before we think something. I was going to say something, but actually it starts with the thoughts. You know, when you were a child, when we were children, and other kids talk behind our back, or talk down on someone to look better themselves or something. These are ego characteristics. Even grown-ups do this, but that's a low level. That's immature. So we can have a determination to not listen to the ego. We can just keep saying no to ego thoughts and patterns and come back to the desire to be pure. Because then we can join minds. Minds join, bodies do not. How beautiful. What is our symbols? And Relationships are used for awakening only. Any other use is misuse. And who has the power to forgive? You. We have it ourselves. You need nothing from someone else. You don't need them to change. You can go above the battleground. It's your battleground. They're just characters within it. Who reacts to figures in a dream if he knows it is a dream? We're here to grow up spiritually, not become better humans. Grow up so high that we grow above the world. That's what we are here to do. And we do it in the present. We choose to allow this light in. We can also dive into today's lesson unless anyone has any comments on this. I just noticed it's lesson 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. I get drawn to playing JP's song. So, no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth.
No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth.
Yes. We could play it afterwards. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. But this is a really helpful follow-up of what I just read from Above the Battleground. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. You look for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none, for safety in the midst of danger, immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Okay, let's get clear about this. You look for permanence in the impermanent. Can lay it down. You look for love where there is none in this world. For safety in the midst of danger. As if there is danger, but he uses the word danger. In separation, safety in separation. Looking for immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. That's the sick desire, to look for immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Who can find safety in contradiction? Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching? So Jesus says here, go to another setting for your searching. Don't search in contradiction. and confuse yourself and your fellow travelers. Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. So meaningless goals cannot be attained because the means you use to strive for them are as meaningless. Well, that sounds like a spinning wheel, hamster wheel. Don't seek for meaningless goals and don't use meaningless means to come to these goals. It's an invitation here to hop off. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? And what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? Pursuit of the imagined leads to death, because it is the search for nothingness, and while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. Let's listen to this again. Pursuit of the imagined leads to death, because it is the search for nothingness, and while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. Let's be willing to give up everything. Let's not seek to protect the little dream. I think St. Francis, he said, don't put your safety in nice things in this world. In anything in this world. There's no safety there. So he says you look for safety and security, but in your heart you pray for danger and also protection for the little dream you made. You're already secure in heaven. Yet, searching is inevitable here. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it power to do so. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one that comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. This is what we can strengthen in the mind, this of which we cannot speak, this which we desire truly. We can cultivate it, we can continually choose that as our prayer, not pray for anything to change or to get anything in this world. Because you are free. So this idea that the world can dictate the goal for which you search, it cannot unless you give it power to do so. Sometimes people feel limited by other people, by family members, or this say, my parents don't allow me to do this and that, even if they're adults. Oh, my mom would never agree to that, and then they don't do it. But this is a choice. The world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it power to do so. You still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, the one that comes to you from an idea relinquished. So it's an idea we threw away, but it's yet remembered, still there in the mind. It's old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. Truth can be remembered. Be glad that search you must. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly, though he tried to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. When he's wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. So how often have you thought that something you do or choose something new maybe, turns into something dark? This is the ego's way. Tell you that everything fails. He tried to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. It's good to understand the mind. It's good to understand there is some madness going on. We can catch it when it happens. Because when he's wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he's led back to his appointed task. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his creator, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You will find heaven. Everything you seek but this will fall away. Yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it. You will reach the goal you really want, as certainly as God created you in sinlessness. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion that it is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be if it is where God wills his Son to be. Maybe you've seen this sometimes, a depressed thought, depressing feeling like you fail or you're hopeless or you're lost. This is the illusion that you have lost heaven, and that heaven then would be in the past or in the future. This cannot be if heaven is where God wills his Son to be. And it is indeed. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? Even with our limited wisdom, we can understand that question. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? God wouldn't hold off. What he wills is now, without a past and wholly futureless. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you chose from what you really want. What he wills is now, without a past and wholly futureless. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you chose from what you really want. So what God wills is now. It's without a past, and it has no future. It is as far removed from time as what you chose in the past from what you really want. Okay, again, come back to the desire of what you really want. This is the message. This is the invitation. Keep staying with what you truly want. It must be something beyond time and form. It must be divine. Heaven remains your one alternative to this strange world you made and all its ways, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and earth the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. No, God didn't make even the possibility of that pain, that disaster. God didn't plant a possibility of the fall from grace in the mind. That's why it's called a dream, an illusion. He did not make two minds. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now, beyond the reach of time. Today we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven and believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today and turn your mind to true ideas instead. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth, and it is truth we seek to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes goal 3 times today, and we will ask to see the rising of the real world to replace the foolish images that we hold dear, with true ideas arising in the place of thoughts that have no meaning, no effect, and neither source nor substance in the truth. Good. Good. And he put a lot in this sentence, like these thoughts that have no meaning and no effect, neither source nor substance in the truth. That is good. We need to fear nothing here. Thoughts of loss in this world, they had no effect. There is no disastrous outcome of events happening in this world, or changes that we didn't expect that surprised us. They still have no effect. So we can devote 10 minutes, right? I don't know if we do it here because we have spent time in meditation. We can easily do it on our own. It is so helpful to devote some time. He says, we will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today. And then we ask to see the rising of the real world to replace the foolish images of loss. So we acknowledge this, that they have no source or substance in the truth, these thoughts, these meaningless ideas of this world. We acknowledge they have no source or substance in the truth as we start upon our practice periods. Begin with this. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek, I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. For several minutes, watch your mind and see, although your eyes are closed, the senseless world you think is real. Review the thoughts as well, which are compatible with such a world and which you think are true. Then let them go and sink below them to the holy place where they can enter not. There is a door beneath them in your mind, which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. Seek for that door and find it. But before you try to open it, remind yourself, no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. And it is this request you make today. Nothing but this has any meaning now. No other goal is valued now or sought. Nothing before this door you really want. And only what lies past it do you seek. Put out your hand. See how easily the door swings open, with your one intent to go beyond it. Angels light the way so that all darkness vanishes and you are standing in a light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. A tiny moment of surprise, perhaps, will make you pause before you realize the world you see before you in the light reflects the truth you knew and did not quite forget in wandering away in dreams. You cannot fail today. There walks with you the spirit heaven sent to you, that you might approach this door someday, and through his aid slip effortlessly past it to the light. Today, that day has come. Today, God keeps his ancient promise to his holy Son, as does his Son remember his to him. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here, and all the seeking of the world, which end together as you pass beyond the door. Remember often that today should be a time of special gladness, and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Salvation's time has come. Today is set by heaven itself to be a time of grace for you and for the world. If you forget this happy fact, remind yourself with this. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Beautiful, helpful lesson for today. Actually, yeah, above the battlegrounds, like a reminder of what we want. Also how to reach it, and this lesson too. Very, very helpful guide through the door into truth. Reminding us this world holds nothing that I want.
No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. My mind only holds what I think with God. My mind only holds what I think with God. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. From all I thought it was. Seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. From all I thought it was. Seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. My mind only holds what I think of God. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. The truth, the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth,
Well, thanks to JP, Barret, for making this song. Do we have anything to put on the altar today? Does anyone have anything they want to lift up?
Hi.
Either.
Yeah, so perfect. This just so perfect with what's arising. I keep slipping into just these waves of fear. And it is everything you've talked about, like thinking, neediness. I need money. I need a plan. I need somewhere to go when I leave here on Tuesday. And I just wrote down in my journal, I want to put on the altar something that's become like a bit of a ritual where I think I actually need to lie on the bed. I need to do a specific meditation. I need to fully allow all of the fear. And yet in this session, I've just been able to drop the fear. And I wrote down, I do not want to see a fragmented world.
Beautiful. Yeah.
and I can see what I'm doing to myself. It's like I'm in this lovely place, I've got a lovely view, I'm here till Tuesday, and I don't want to waste the next 4 days worrying about what happens after that. It's such, but when the fear comes, it's really intense as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, when you don't know something, when you don't see something, you believe it doesn't exist, or you believe it's hard when you wait for something to get clear. Yesterday, we went out to buy a couch, me and Lynn and Emily, and we went to a few different places. We looked at many nice couches. We sat on many nice couches, and we were like, yeah, could be it, you know, and we even ordered one. It was like, that could be good. We got to choose the color and the material because they could custom make it. But it was still this feeling, yeah, you know, it wasn't the spirit, it was just us looking, trying to find it. Because it's helpful to have a couch. That was the guide. It's guided to have a couch. That's all that we knew. And then in the last store we went to, we sat also on many nice couches. And we're like, yeah, that could be. We liked different ones. And, you know, we were not even unified in what we liked. So it was a little bit of wandering. And then we sat on one. And I could feel this is it. But it was like another feeling. It wasn't us speculating. It was the Holy Spirit. And the reflection I got from Emily and Lynn, they said they felt the same. They felt this is it. And it was very simple. It just came in all simplicity. It may not even be what our egos prefer, you know, it was just given. It's just, this is it feeling. Yeah. But until that point, you are, you know, you're praying, you are seeking, like we read today, seek you must, for seek you came here to do. And you are doing it very well, because you desire the truth, you desire the clear answer and the means to reach the truth. And this is what you're, you know, you're open to it. And that sounds beautiful. You're in a beautiful place. You don't want to waste your time. You want to be present. Beautiful.
Just to trust that is the guidance. I'm back here to find my own place, get a job, get settled, so the kids, you know, I can be with the kids, and that will be provided. And whatever way that shows up, it's, yeah. But I think just to put on the altar this, and I can see there's pride. There's a lot of things in it, but there's pride. This, I need to figure this out on my own. I need to fend for myself. You know, those kind of thoughts and beliefs. Yeah, and underneath that, there is still this abandonment. God doesn't want me, he's not protecting me. Yeah, and I worked through a load of that 2 days ago, and yesterday when I went out asking around for jobs, it was such a different state of mind to be in. I wasn't needy, I wasn't desperate, I was just connecting with people. Yeah, it was so wonderful. But this morning I woke up in this state of fear again. So there's some idea that, yeah, even that, there's a belief that I don't want to waste time just allowing, you know. I want to be able to make a quick decision, switch it off and not follow the ego. And I have experienced that as well. So it's...
Isn't it something that Mr. Rogers says, if you can say it, you can do it, or something?
If you can
Say it, you can do it.
I can say I can do it.
You just said, I just want to switch off the ego. You said it, you can do
Yeah, I did it in this meeting.
it. Yeah.
If it's mentionable, it's manageable.
That's what it is. It's kind of the same. It's mentionable, it's manageable. That's cute.
Yeah, but everything I need right now.
Yeah. Follow that inspiration, you know. That's beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Cool.
Love you. This message, you know, in quiet are all problems quietly resolved. In stillness. Okay, anyone else? Matthew and then Solveig.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah, I just want to put a prayer out. Is when I feel I'm going through something like, you know, deep healing, you know, around something, like when there's emotions I'm in touch with, or when after I've cried a lot, sometimes I kind of get a little pulled into something. I can't always see what it is, but I get a little lost. I don't know if it's fear of experiencing the emotion and fear of going through it and then fully allowing it. But yeah, I noticed a little since this morning. I've noticed that in myself, feeling a little stuck a bit inward, and yeah, slightly like I'm not in the guiding light as I usually am. So I just want to name that, and I want to stay in the light. I want to stay in the easy kind of flow.
yeah, it leaves a vacuum when you have released something. Because it's part of a self-concept, or it's part of an identity that you have released, even if it was something painful. If you cried, if you release something, it's like, can be like a vacuum, can be like a void or a space that is out there. And so it's more to be just patient with yourself and your state of mind, and stay in that openness, that open prayer. I want to be connected. But you don't want to be connected in an ego way. Ego wants to feel always safe and that you got it under control somehow. But in an ego way, in control, or that you have a handle on your life, your day, yourself. But really allow that vacuum, allow that openness, and see what it will be filled with. It may be uncomfortable for a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for your share.
Always.
Just like to just put something on the altar. You talked about the battlefield, and that was just absolutely perfect. I got a message yesterday around the car we sold, and they seemingly want us to pay some money back. And I could just see immediately I was right back into this fear, right back into this guilt, right back into everything. And part of it was this kind of trying to defend myself. I could see how intensely I wanted to defend myself. And just seeing that that is actually an attack. It's an attack on peace. Yeah, and just during
Well,
the whole session, I can feel it's such a contrast when I let go of that, and then I can feel the peace. And then whenever that thing comes in, it just feels like, yeah, it is so difficult to explain, but the contrast is just incredible. And yeah, just a small detail. I did the lesson earlier before the session, and I came to that door, and I was just like totally stuck there. And I thought, I want to open the door, but I couldn't. And I was like, no, then maybe I don't want to open the door. And I was just questioning that. And then here, when you read it, and I kind of saw that door again. And then it suddenly I said, oh, it opens the other way. It was just like, and I was like, it was just so stuck in my mind that I couldn't open that stupid door. And then it was just like, it was so obvious and so clear. And then I thought, okay, maybe a lot of things that I'm facing is like that.
It's like there's a big pull sign on the door and you're like pushing.
Yeah, actually many times in the stores and so you actually don't, you see it, the pull or the push, and you do the opposite, you don't even read it. You don't even see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Good news. Even less effort than you thought it required.
Yeah. I need to stop trying so hard.
Yeah, you don't even need to know which way the door opens.
Yeah.
You can't know.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, even now I have this doubt coming in, like, yeah, but then in an hour, you're back in this, or just a minute, or whatever. It's just.
Remember, the ego both asks and answers. Even when you lift up something for healing, trust the spirit wants to answer you. You don't need to make your own answer. You don't need to make the door open in a certain way. It's a bit like separation. If you suddenly hear you owe money that you don't have, money you've been given in the past, and then get a message you owe it back or something. That's like a gift that is not given. That's like this world that is like symbol of the separation. So all you can do is to give it over to Holy Spirit and let Holy Spirit solve the problem, and it can be practical. I don't know what this is involved or who is involved, but it could be to speak about it. As you are a messenger of God, you don't carry funds of this world, and just share from your heart.
Yeah, thank you.
The trust. It's raining in Cape Town. It's been quite a stormy night here. So we're going to carry on here. Still, the house is half empty. Still, we're working every day to clean it and furnish it. And so, if there's anything else here, want to share something, Barret? I think there is something. Next Wednesday.
My mind only holds what I think with God. Yes, next Wednesday. We are going to be, normally we have a satsang, but not this Wednesday. This Wednesday, we will have an online movie gathering. It's going to be an hour earlier, so 6:30 instead of 7:30. And all the details will be put up online, I think today. So keep an eye out, and yeah, we'll send it out in the newsletter and on Facebook, and so there'll be lots of ways to plug in.
Beautiful. We appreciate donation for whoever feels guided to give something for the satsangs. Very, very helpful for us to be able to continue with this work. And yeah, thank you all for joining in. Love you.
Have a beautiful day.